Hey everybody! So today we are going to talk about the last of the goddess asteroids. We are going to talk about Vesta. I'm not going to go too much into her mythology because her mythology feels a little, it's like we've got her mythology and then we've got the mythology of hers that the Romans took and built on, if you will. So hers is a little bit more, I think, complex. So we won't be going into all of that, but I do want to mention a few things just to make it make sense as to why I would say some of the things, why I'll say some of the things that she represents or she might represent in a natal chart. So Vesta was the daughter of Saturn or Kronos, and Rhea, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. She was the firstborn of the Olympians. She decided not to marry Poseidon or Apollo, decided to remain a virgin, and kind of stay to herself, if you will, like stay to herself in that way. Because she was the firstborn, they would have like ceremonies and offerings with fireplaces, with fireplace-like things, with fire, essentially. And people would make offerings to her, and they felt like her flame was protective of their home or of their city or what have you, which is another reason, which is one of the reasons why she is considered to be the sacred flame or the sacred fire or the eternal flame or eternal fire, or she is just represented like fire, like a symbol for fire. So then the Romans get a hold of this mythology, and they build a temple to her or something like it. I might not be using the right word, but they build some like a temple to her, and they have the sacred flame in it, and they get the Vestal virgins to operate the flame, make sure that it doesn't burn out. And while they are operating Vesta's sacred flame, they have to keep their flame burning too, which essentially means they can fuck anybody. I don't know why that has anything to do with being able to operate a flame, or make sure a flame doesn't burn out, but they would sorry if I sound kind of annoyed when I say this. I do think that this mythology is just slightly annoying because they they would get these 6-year-old girls, anywhere from 6 to 10, to become Vestal virgins, and these girls had to do this then for 30 years. This wasn't like something they just did for 5 years. I mean, not only is it weird you're asking fucking 6-year-olds to, I mean, you should 6-year-olds shouldn't know what being a virgin is. I mean, it's just fucking strange. It's very strange. But they would have these girls do this, and if they didn't remain pure throughout their time being a Vestal virgin, they usually ended up dying for it. And they're, so there's that part of the mythology does kind of annoy me. Just because it's not like you're asking, I know this was a different time and place, but you're not asking, people that actually know what they're consenting to. You're asking 6-year-olds. But anyway, I digress. So Vesta has a lot to do with sexuality. I mean, Vesta herself was a virgin. These Vestal virgins that had to make sure the flame didn't go out, they were also virgins. So sexuality is a big deal with Vesta. Specifically, it can also be sexual hang-ups. So we could be looking at anything from, perhaps being too promiscuous to being too frigid to there could even be like sexual issues such as not being able to get it up in a man's chart. That could be a Vesta thing. Or being sterile, that could also be a Vesta thing. and that could be how that might play out in a man's chart, or even like being infertile in a female chart. That could also be a Vesta thing. All of those sorts of things, and it really could go either way. But where Vesta is, there usually is something going on with notions of sexuality. It doesn't always have to be in a challenging way, but there is something going on there. Oh, before I forget, I'm going to show you what she looks like when you pull her. Okay, I'll show you from my chart. Okay, so you'll see it like 8 degrees, 31 Leo. That is Vesta. That's what she looks like. She looks like a flame. Like, that's what they say she looks like. It's like a V and a flame. So definitely, you know, see where that's what she looks like. See what she does in your chart. Let me see. Okay, so Vesta also deals with being devoted and being devoted to something. I mean, and that makes sense because these girls that had to make sure that Vesta's flame didn't burn out, they had to be devoted to what they were doing. I mean, doing anything for 30 years is going to show a certain level of devotion, at least. So notions of devotion are very much Vesta territory. So is service, because these Vestal virgins were of service as well. Pretty much, you know, in a lot of ways put their own life on the line, not completely, or life not on the line, away. They put their own life away. Though in a very real way, they did put their life on the line too, being this, because if somebody wanted to accuse them of having sex, or if somebody wanted to rape them, it was usually they got in trouble for it, regardless if it was, you know, consensual or rape. Or so they, in a very real way, they did put their life on the line doing this. In a way, they did. Notions of safety. This is something else that Vesta does tie into. You know, the reason why they wanted the flames in this temple to stay lit is because they felt like that kept the city safe, or that kept, you know. And I know the Romans are the ones that I'm talking about with having the temple, but other homes would do this. People would have home, you know, their home fires, their hearth fires in their homes would be like, they would think of that as like Vesta, keeping them safe. So there is a protection element to her too, and a safety element for sure. Her main job was guarding the home and family for that reason. Now, here's the thing about that though. Because when you go into the story about the Vestal virgins, they were emancipated from their own families. They no longer, I mean, when they became Vestal virgins, they were emancipated. They no longer were under the thumb of their father or their family. They ended up being really more under the control of the state, specifically one fuckhead. I can't remember his name. But so it is more like a blending of more like country and family, not so much straight family, if that makes sense. I mean, I can certainly see how you would place family into this, but because these Vestal virgins, they were emancipated from their families. The natural family or biological family, I don't know, it doesn't seem like it fits as well to me. I know people will disagree with that, but to me it doesn't feel like it fits quite as well. Not fully. Also, there's also okay, there's a very private element to me about Vesta. We don't even know what she looks like. Okay? Like, we don't even know what she looks like. We have no idea what she looks like. And so that in and of itself makes makes me think that there is a private element to Vesta. The Vestal virgins were the only people that were able to go into this temple to keep the fires lit. She only let in, you know, only certain people were let in. So to me, in a natal chart, this feels very much like a very private part of the person. You could even say something like where the person's eternal flame is, if you will. I mean, if you wanted to be that literal. But it's not something, I mean, I would think that would be the case even if it was in like the 10th house or something. There's something about this that's very private. It might be more on display in the 10th house, but even so, there's just such a privacy element to Vesta that it seems like she might show what you were like, what really burns inside of you, what really lights you up, what really lights that spark. By house might show like the areas of life that this happens in. By you know, by sign would show how. But yeah, to me, there might be a sense of being private about those areas of life, or being private about, there's just a privacy thing here. They have to be like worthy. Things that come into the space where Vesta is in your chart, they've got to be worthy. They have to be worthy of accessing it, if you will. I would definitely look at, obviously, like I said before in the other videos, I would definitely look and see what aspects Vesta makes. Look and see, you know, if she makes a lot of really easy aspects, it might mean that Vesta is easier or less challenging in your chart. If she makes a lot of really hard aspects, it might be more, she might be more challenging. You definitely want to also look at, like I mentioned before, the planetary ruler Vesta. Like my Vesta is in Leo, for instance. My Vesta is in Leo. My sun is in the 12th house in Sagittarius, but they're like within 6 or 7 degrees of being trine. I think that's too wide for asteroids. I would use like an orb of 3 degrees applying or separating when looking at asteroids. So I do think it's too wide. So it's kind of like a neutral thing. Like, I mean, my Vesta's fucked in some other ways, but it's not because of that. The planetary ruler of the sign Vesta's in doesn't add anything to that. But yeah, definitely look and see what that looks like. I'd be curious because this one isn't quite as, I mean, I work with her, but because her mythology is kind of, I'd be curious to know how you all feel about her. You know, do you feel like is it purely like a sexual thing, like a sex thing, sexual hang-ups or whatever? Is it purely like devotion, being devoted to something? Do you feel like it could be like a private thing? I'd be curious to hear what you all have to say, because I really personally feel like Vesta is a private thing. That's how she feels to me. Like what, yeah, but like private in the way, like what really lights us up, what keeps us lit up, that kind of way. Anyway, I'm gonna get going because this one got longer. If you want to follow us on Instagram, you can find us at Let's Fuck with Astrology. I'm at Saturn Season Astrology on Instagram. Natalie is at Paterno Astrology on Instagram. If you want to like or subscribe or whatever the fuck people do with videos on YouTube, you can find us by searching for Let's Fuck with Astrology in the YouTube search bar. Or you can like and subscribe now if you're watching on YouTube. If you do the Reddit thing, come join us on the subreddit Let's Fuck with Astrology. And if you're interested in the star cards, go to letsfuckwithastrology.com/star-cards. Okay, y'all. I'll see y'all later.